Welcome back to the 100% Space Exposure Challenge, Episode 2. I've barely survived the initial suffocation crisis in the last episode, and my goal is to complete Great Escape before Cycle 100. In this episode, we will try to find source of water, but we first have to extend our air shelter to be able to explore further from base. How could we possibly find water? Let's do the process of elimination. Frozen water is ice, which is safe from space exposure. But my starting planet is desolate and it has no ice. Also, I'm not playing with Frosty Planet Pack, so melting ice would not be easy either. Mud can also convert to water, but mud is not present on this planet either. Liquid water are all gone already, and for geysers that produces water, they will not be able to match the space exposure sucking out 100 kg per second of liquid. We also could not build a door on top of geysers to prevent this. That will leave us the last answer, steam. Steam geysers produces a few kilograms of steam while they are erupting. Space exposure sucks the gas at a speed of 100 grams per second, much slower than sucking out liquid. So the produced steam has a much bigger chance to survive. I'm trying to explore to the right, so I plan to build more doors there, and also build tiles to increase the run speed. Every second counts when dudes still have to run back and forth every 30 seconds to catch their breath. Flatulent duplicates are hated by most players, but it might be an interesting idea to take in this challenge, because most of the fart will also be sucked out anyway. Well, I guess it's still too early to take another new dupe. My first battery is already broken from overheating. It's not a big deal. I'll just build a new one. It doesn't even cost you more resources to just deconstruct and reconstruct. I have located a cool steam geyser at the top, so I will try to collect some water from its eruption. The geyser might look close to my base in a normal colony, but that is still way too far in this challenge. The dupes would hardly make any progress digging or building in this distance before having to run back for oxygen. So I'm starting a new set of doors and oxygen diffuser here. Uh-oh, the dupes have too much job to do, and they didn't really run the wheel, so the oxygen diffuser has no power. I better use a yellow alert to get one of them running to restore the power and oxygen production now. Phew, this is the first time the suffocation warning shows up in this run. That was kind of close. There seem to be some back walls generated with the teleporter, but somehow it still became a vacuum. Probably there's some hole on the left, so gas all leaked. Building a second oxygen diffuser is really essential, but it also wastes more oxygen because it has to be built on space exposure. So I have better speed up the process, getting drywall before all the algae are wasted. Building doors everywhere we go is also a big waste of time and metal ore. That is another reason to rush the drywall. The basic small battery is really kind of too small. Most of the time, the oxygen diffuser have no power, so I'll try to research jumbo battery to replace it. Now we have secured some air in the area below the cool steam vent. I can start digging towards it. The tubes cannot directly jump up for a door, so I have to dig sideways to allow them to make the jump. Here I have made a mistake. I was trying to fit the supercomputer here and dig the sideways stepping tiles and did not notice it. So let me make my tubes stuck on the ladders. Oh no, now I have realized the mistake from the suffocation warning. I have to build a tile to rescue the tube as fast as possible. Phew, the tube is saved, and we have actually made it really close to the cool steam vent. After we have solved the basic water and oxygen problem, we can still build an outhouse after all. The tubes are not really stressed in such hostile environment. Like stepping on their own pea water would stress them. But here's something interesting. Low oxygen is a stress source, but no oxygen is actually not a stress source. So they seem to be fine. This pepper plant placement is a bit annoying, so I will have to remove it. So the plan is like this. I will place doors to the left of the cool steam vent. When the eruption started, some steam will touch tiles on the left, be cooled down and condensed into water. Then the water will fall to the bottom, where I also have doors prepared to contain the water. The doors near the vent were almost sure to be overheated, and they will break soon. But the doors can still function after broken, so I will just turn off auto repair and ignore them. So, the eruption has started, and my water collection system is kind of working. The water would not be in a real tile when they are still falling, so they would not be sucked out in the falling process. We are indeed getting water, but we could not use a pitcher pump to collect it, since it cannot be built on top of doors, so we can only make the dudes mop the floor. Now we can expect to research the drywall. This technology costs 20 advanced research points, which needs 1000 kilograms of water. But now, there's another serious issue we have to deal with. Since the beginning, we have been focusing on the most obvious oxygen problem, but we are also almost running out of food. Now, if you think about it, we have really no good way to make food. Plants can't grow inside vacuum, and you can't even make mush bars without water. Ranching will require a big room and skilled duplicates and more research. So it is hard to ranch in the first few cycles too. The only practical way to make food for now is to dig for more muck roots until we have dry wall or have some spare water for mush bars. One of the jumbo battery is almost overheating, so it is a good time to remove it and build our first room ever, the latrine. But I'm not really gonna be spending my clean water for washing their hands, so I will disable the wash basin and still be able to enjoy the +1 morale. Here we have a chlorine vent. Its output rate is much lower than a steam vent, so it is erupting meaninglessly with every output destroyed almost immediately. Finally, we can start using the supercomputer in Cycle 8. I have found a lot of muck roots. The current food stockpile should allow the dupes to survive for another 5 to 7 cycles. We have collected 1700 kilograms of water already. That's not bad. Wow, why would you eat sitting right inside the door? Whatever. research progress is still really slow. They could only complete like 2 points of research every time before having to run back for oxygen. But things could be much better once we actually research drywall. Jumbo battery overheating again. I hope it can survive until I finish the drywall research. Nope, still not the time for another dupe. One of the dupes just got food poisoning. Not really serious compared to other problems in this challenge. Oops, I forgot to mop the floor for too long. Now there's too much water on the floor, so I cannot mop them. I guess I will have to extend the floor to thin them out. I might lose some water in the process, but I will lose even more if I had to do this later. Oh wow! Finally, the drywall research is completed. I will start spamming drywalls everywhere. The top priority is the two tiles behind the oxygen diffuser. Then I will connect the two air shelters into one with drywalls. I will also replace the wall of doors on the right with a pitcher pump and dry walls, so I don't have to manually mop all the water. There's so much drywall that needs to be built, but at least they can be built really fast, especially compared to temp shift plates. Now the drywall near the printing pod is completed. I don't need the manual airlock anymore. Finally, we can see some larger air packets in the gas overlay. Isn't that so wonderful? Alright, the oxygen can still get low when they are too focused on other jobs, so I have to get them running on the wheels in emergency. I don't really want to make the operation job priority higher either. I guess this will be much better when I start using code generator. Now I have a pitcher pump set up and a much bigger and comfortable air shelter. Now we have survived for 11 cycles, and we finally have a base that is mostly functioning like a regular base. I said mostly because the initial water are still gone and have to start collecting water from zero. And there will be more challenge once we go to other planets, even the teleporter planet, because it's also complete space exposure there. Developing a new planet will be another big pain. And I still have the goal to finish Great Escape in 100 cycles. Could I possibly make it? Subscribe and don't miss out on the next video.